Alright, so I think I figured out what's going on here a little bit. So it's only returning the valid request. So 67 is the IP address, and it's giving us a 404 because the page isn't found because it's under admin. So let's try changing this to admin. Oh, I think I messed that up. So Mr. Repeater will URL decode with Control Shift U. We will turn to admin, and then we'll put the value 67. And then we got it. So we got to keep the port number the same. All right. That's why this isn't getting any hits, because it doesn't have the port number. Let's run that attack. So we get a 404 here because it's not finding the admin at 1, which is a valid IP. And then we get 2, and we get the 200 OK, which means we hit it. So that took a little bit to figure out. So not too bad, not too bad. Alright, so we figured out what was going on here, why we had some errors before. Just remember to change this. You could probably put it at 100, and it wouldn't make a difference, I don't think. It might, because we got the 0 status code, which was odd. So we know this is it, and we have to delete Carlos. And let's go see what that request looks like. So we'll go to show in browser, we'll copy the string, and then we'll go here. Paste that in. We'll go to show response. We get this. We'll do delete Carlos. Not found. But we get the string to do this. And Turbo, you can see what Turbo Intruder is free. It's faster, it's better. We'll replace that string. Solved. So that was pretty easy. Well, no it wasn't. It was time consuming, and I don't know why this didn't work. Oh, because I deleted the port number. Because in the first lab we didn't need the port number, I don't think. That's why we're getting the 500 status code. Oh, stupid mistakes. Stupid mistakes. So that was pretty easy. So circumventing common SSR defenses. It is common to see applications containing CSRF behavior together with defenses aimed at preventing malicious exploitation. Often these defenses can be circumvented. Some applications block input containing the 127 or localhost or sensitive URLs like admin. In this situation, you can often circumvent this filter using various techniques. Using an alternative IP address such as this or this, registering your own domain that resolves to home. You can also use spoofed collaborator.net for this purpose, obfuscating blocked strings using URL encoding or case variation. So, to solve this lab, we were going to obfuscate the localhost header. We'll close this out. We'll go to y'all. We'll clear out the logs. Yes. We'll go start the new lab. So we'll go to check the stock, go here. Then shoot. We'll URL decode this. We'll put localhost admin. Externally blocked for security reasons. So let's try local blocked for security. Control U. So we got the, let's try deleting the port. Let's try this. Let's see what this is. Decode hex. Okay, so let's decode binary. An octal URL. I don't know what the hell that is. I think that's just a period. So we could build a word list of the possible ways you can encode home. They could have it based on the BERT collaborator, but you know, probably. External stock check blocked for security reasons. Is there... This only post. We might have to cheat. Because we already did. Well, we didn't do the home much. I don't think we have. Yeah, we have. Ugh. You are full of it. I tried that. Yeah, I have it recorded. Maybe I did it wrong. See? I told you. Bypass the block by changing the URL to that. Oh, and observe that it's blocked again. Obfuscating the A by double euro encoding. Oh, what? Now there's something to think about. Obfuscating the A by double euro encoding it. Now there's something to remember. Look, right here we get the no. We'll do Carlos. That was pretty interesting. So, I'll have to remember that. So next time I try to go to the admin portal log in, I'll try double euro encoding some of it. See if I can't bypass it. That's interesting. Oh, Charlos. Carlos. Solved. So that was interesting. So just to recap, right here it gives us the other hint that I kind of missed. Obfuscating block strings using URL encoding or case variation. But I think it was kind of a hint that since this is bold, that your double URL encoding, the using the decoder in burp to can bypass checks, which is really cool, and that's something I haven't tried before, especially to get into forbidden areas, and I think that's really neat. I'm gonna have to do a write-up about CSRF or SSRF. Well, so CSRF could be cross-site request forgery. That's what it's commonly referred to as, but just to make it easier on myself, I'll be referring it to as CSRF. Kind of refer to them both as CSRF, and it's I can see how that's confusing. So I do apologize. I hope the context helps a little bit. But saying the acronym out loud is too many syllables. Some applications only allow input that matches and begins with or contains a whitelist of permitted values. In this situation, you can sometimes circumvent the filter by exploiting inconsistencies in the URL parsing. The URL specification contains a number of features that are liable to be overlooked when implementing ad hoc parsing and validation of URLs. You can embed credentials in a URL before the host name using the @ symbol, for example, @evilhost. You can use the hashtag to indicate a URL fragment. You can leverage DNS naming hierarchy to place required input into the fully qualified domain namespace that you control. For example, man, I need to get some server set up. You can URL encode characters to confuse the URL parsing code. This is particularly useful in the code that implements the filter handling URL encode characters differently than the code that performs the backend HTTP request. You can use combinations of these together. A new era of CSSRF. We gotta delete the user. So dogs. Food-based animals. So we'll send this to repeater. We will decode this. This is pretty interesting stuff because I didn't. That's really cool. I got some ideas. So localhost. Yeah. The developer has deployed anti-CCR defenses you will need to bypass. So we can see this is one of the defenses they put up here. So they're restricting it to the same origin. So we will go back a bit. URL decode this, and then what we'll do is we'll put localhost. We'll do admin. So that didn't work. So what was the other one? And you know what? We might need to URL encode the A again. Or not. Oh, we didn't do the hashtag. Let's try the hashtag dot. Maybe that's what they meant by combination. We did the hashtag, we did the @ symbol at localhost. Yeah, so once localhost admin. Man, I am stumped. So we can still have this be the directory, still be admin. And we could do username at, and we get a 500 internal error, so the server's throwing the request. So when we do localhost, it's still saying it only allows the same thing to work. Is it really just going to come down to the 80? No, it isn't. Localhost and 23, so we can use in succession the okay. Oh. That is cool. Alright, so we're going to do this last lab. I'm going to clear out history so it doesn't become a gargled mess. Access the lab. This lab has a stock check feature that oh, did I even read? No, I didn't. It is sometimes possible to circumvent any kind of filter-based defenses by exploiting an open redirect vulnerability. In the preceding CSRF example, suppose the user submitted URL is strictly validated to prevent malicious exploitations of the CSRF vulnerability. However, the applications whose URL are allowed contains an open redirect vulnerability provided the API used to make the backend HTTP request supports redirections. You can construct a URL that satisfies the filters and results in a redirect request to the desired backend target. For example, suppose the application contains a redirect vulnerability in which the URL product redirects to evil user. You can leverage this open redirect vulnerability to bypass the URL filter and exploit a CSRF vulnerability as followed. So we'll go to the check, we'll go to the post. So normally you might see a URL direct in this part of the request. I've tried exploiting this a couple times, but I haven't been successful in it. It might be because of the filters, and it's restricted only to the origin. And here we can see it's changed a little bit because it's gonna change a lot a bit. To solve this lab, change the stock check URL to access the admin interface. Where's the URL redirect? Sometimes it's in the refer header, but there is no refer header. So we'll check the stock. Why? Missing parameter. So let's reread this. There's a clear. So we got the ID. Oh, you know what? Let's change the variable to path. Fudge. curse you. Change the stock check value URL to access the admin interface. Stock check. This is the URL. Let's get swole. You little... we might have to cheat here. Alright. Oh, I was so close. Oh, really? It was this. That's where it is, the next product. So when it goes, oh, that is cool. That is something to think about. So right here is what we need to inject into. I curse you. I don't even think we need this. So whenever you go to the next page, it's going to call the URL or path. So when you're navigating through the website, be sure to pay attention to that. And it's going to the location admin. Products. doing wrong? Oh, follow redirect. Oh. I'm gonna have to pay attention to some of these redirects. So, then once we do that, huh? What the heck, dog? Found. So we put it as a post command, and then when the server gets it, it does it like this, right? That was kind of neat. So we put it in a post command, send it, and then the server is then going to change it to this. There is an Iron Team. It's me. So let's see if what it... Oh, and it does do that. It does the same thing. So let's kind of go back here, right? And then we'll go to the... We'll delete this command. And then we'll copy the URL, paste it into here. Let's go to the next product. There's something about Carlos. So we'll copy the URL. So we'll go here. Next product. Go back over here. Copy the URL. See if it will do an open redirect on the page. And it says it's waiting for... It might be broken. Cause we get redirected here. Maybe I'm not supposed to follow the redirect? Now it's waiting to connect to this host. I think it's just bugged.